Hey guys, as you can see, I'm in a different setting than I was in my previous videos. I'm actually an ocean away from my room in those videos. I'm here in Toronto, Canada, and I'm in my parents' lovely office. I just needed to make that disclaimer because as you can see, there's a framed picture of me there and there. And I didn't want you guys to think I was this massive narcissist keeping photos of myself in my room. Maybe I'd keep one, but definitely not two. Today, I'd like to talk about a pretty serious debate involving two amazing books. There's definitely been a lot of name calling, vicious fighting, people taking sides, and even accusations of plagiarism. I'm talking about two of my favorite books, The Hunger Games and Battle Royale. First off, plagiarism. That's a crazy charge. Yes, both books involve teenagers being forced into a situation where they have to kill each other. But that happens all the time, right? But just because a book has a similar premise doesn't mean they are complete copies of each other. Take the romantic comedy genre, for instance, that follows a very similar premise. Two people meet, go over a series of obstacles, and typically end up together in love at the end. Maybe it's not the best genre to use because they are quite samey, but one story might involve the aspiring journalist and the lawyer, and will they or won't they get together, and then they get together. Or there's a baker and the candy shop owner, and will they or won't they get together, but ultimately they get together. The same premise, but ultimately two different stories. Now that we got the big P word out of the way, I want to ask, which one is better? Which one would win in a fight? If we put these two books on a desert island and forced them to kill each other, which one would win? Let's start with The Hunger Games. This book takes place so far in the future in this post-apocalyptic Earth that it's completely an alien world to us. Within the ruins of North America, a new sort of city, nation state has come into being called Pan Am, and it's this city with 12 different districts that surround this very rich elitist capital. And so each year, the capital forces the different districts to sacrifice two of their kids from the age range of 12 to 18 into this televised fight to the death. Right away it is explained that this fight, the Hunger Games, is used as a device to instill fear into the people of the districts and quell any notion of rebellion and remove any hope from their lives. Because the book is narrated from Katniss's point of view, the book is very pacey and full of mystery. We never really know what's going on in the bad guys' heads, where the other guys are doing, what is happening. And because the world is so futuristic and far from our own, there's such a mystery of what's going on in this world. How did the Hunger Games even come into being? Because the event is televised, the book explores the spectacle, glamour, and ultimately the charade behind the games, as well as reality television in general. Furthermore, the title of The Hunger Games is a very apt one, as hunger and starvation and the motif of food comes about frequently throughout the whole book, and the book does delve into these really interesting themes of classism and inequality, two things that I think affect our current cultural, political, and social climate. Now let's move on to Battle Royale. Now I think a major difference between these two books are the worlds. Hunger Games takes place far in the future, or in a world an alternate reality that seems very, very foreign to us. Whereas Battle Royale exists in a slightly alternative reality version of the world we live in today. Battle Royale is like Hunger Games if it happened literally tomorrow. The characters in Battle Royale are very much like you and me. They have crushes, they get into fights with their families, they play video games, they go out and party clandestinely so that their parents don't know. They are not the starving citizens of this weird post-apocalyptic North America. No, this is our world, and they have been taken from our world and put in this terrifying situation. The book is much more grittier than Hunger Games. After being abducted, the students wake up in this classroom and the metal collars surrounding their necks, and that metal collar tracks where they are, can overhear what they're saying, and has a bomb attached to it so that if they try to escape the island, or if they go into forbidden zones, as the the map shrinks as they try to get everyone to go kill each other. You would blow up your entire head. Some kids at the beginning of the program get machine guns, others get knives, and then some people are left with the crappiest weapons ever, like, I don't know, a can opener or binoculars. This book is also written in the third person, which allows the writer to explore a variety of different perspectives. This creates much more suspense because if you have two characters that you really like and you can see that they're approaching each other, you get really worried for both of them and you don't know who to root for. You're like, oh my gosh, I like this guy, I like her too, don't kill each other please, and it gets really nerve-wracking and tense. And this is exactly a point that I think Hunger Games, maybe because it's a YA book, I'm not sure, but it's exactly something that the Hunger Games quite craftively skims over. All the characters that Katniss likes and are nice to her, she never gets put in a situation where she has to kill them. Only the bad guys kill the nice guys, and sort of then, therefore, justify Katniss then going and killing them. The third person also opens up the story a lot more. It allows the writer to go and explore this really messed up situation from a variety of different character viewpoints, so that a lot of interesting things happen. So there's a couple who are in love and they decide to just jump off a cliff. Then meanwhile, there's one guy who accepts that he's going to die, but his sole mission while being on the island is he wants to lose his virginity. And then meanwhile, the bad guys who are going insane and start just going on murder rampages, we learn their backstory and we learn that they had really messed up childhoods. And you can see why this sort of survival instinct would trigger so quickly within them that they would just go on this murderous rampage. And so you feel sort of empathy for them, even though you understand that they're insane. So the Battle Royale explores sort of the moral dilemma of the premise of teenagers being forced to kill each other, much more so than the Hunger Games. In fact, I would say Suzanne Collins sort of uses the premise of kids fighting each other much more as sort of a plot device or gimmick to then talk about other themes like reality television and elitism and inequality, whereas Battle Royale is much more focused on that initial premise and thinking through how humans would actually react and behave in such a scenario. So ultimately, if I had to choose, I would probably say Battle Royale is the more richer, rewarding experience. That said, both books are great. If you liked either one, I'd be very surprised to hear that you didn't like the other. Honestly, guys, if you like teenagers killing each other, you should be rejoicing that we live in this disturbing culture where writers continuously publish this kind of premise, and it's great. So you have so many options to choose from. So enjoy. That's it for today. Until next time.